Why the Kaaba could not be established or replaced elsewhere, such as Abraha's historical attempt to divert pilgrims to his grand cathedral, Al-Khalais, in Yemen, can be understood through two distinct lenses: spiritual/theological decree and geographical/historical strategy. Here is a breakdown of why the Kaaba's location remains irreplaceable. 1. Divine selection and sacred decree, theological perspective. In Islamic theology, the location of the Kaaba is not a human choice, but a divine designation. The first house of worship. According to Islamic tradition, Mecca was chosen by Allah before the creation of mankind. The Quran states, "Indeed, the first house of worship established for mankind was that at Bakka, Mecca, blessed and a guidance for the worlds." Surah Al-Imran, 3 hours 96 minutes. The foundation of Prophet Abraham. Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael did not choose the site based on personal preference or economic convenience. They rebuilt the Kaaba upon existing foundations following precise divine guidance. Abraha's fundamental error. Abraha Al-Ashram, the Aksumite Christian ruler of Yemen, approached the concept of the Kaaba from a purely political and commercial standpoint. He assumed that by building a more magnificent, gold-adorned structure, Al-Khalais in Sana'a, he could easily shift the center of pilgrimage. He failed to understand that the sanctity of the Kaaba is tied to the holiness of the ground itself, the sacred precinct/al-Haram, not the stones or the grandeur of the architecture too. The geopolitical and trade hub of the ancient world. Looking at the map of the ancient world, Mecca's geographical location was uniquely suited to be an uninterrupted sanctuary, a neutral buffer zone. Unlike the major empires of the time, the Byzantine Empire, the Sasanian/Persian Empire, and the Kingdom of Aksum, the harsh desert of the Hijaz region acted as a natural barrier. It was never permanently conquered by these superpowers. Had the Kaaba been located in Yemen, under Aksumite or later Persian influence, or Syria, under Byzantine control, it would have been destroyed or altered during the frequent wars between these empires. The crossroads of trade. Mecca sat exactly at the intersection of the major incense and spice trade routes connecting southern Arabia, Yemen, to the Mediterranean, Egypt, and Syria. Because the area was declared a sacred sanctuary, Haram, where warfare was strictly forbidden, it served as a vital, safe commercial and cultural hub for highly fractured Arabian tribes. 3. The psychological and miraculous legacy, the Year of the Elephant. Abraha's failure to replace the Kaaba culminated in his military march toward Mecca in 570 CE, famously known as the Year of the Elephant. When Abraha arrived with his army and wore elephants to demolish the Kaaba, the Quraysh, the guardians of the Kaaba, fled to the mountains, recognizing they could not fight such a massive force. Abdul-Muttalib, the grandfather of Prophet Muhammad, famously told Abraha, "I am the lord of the camels, but the house has a lord who will protect it." As recorded in Surah Al-Fil, the elephant, the army was destroyed by flocks of birds, ababil, dropping stones of baked clay. This historic event permanently sealed the status of Mecca in the Arab psyche. It proved to the region that the Kaaba possessed a supernatural protection that no worldly king or rival cathedral could replicate. It cemented Mecca's status as an inviolable sanctuary, making any future attempts to build an alternative Kaaba completely obsolete. In short, Abraha attempted to replicate a spiritual reality with physical luxury. The Kaaba could not be moved because its authority is rooted in a specific piece of land chosen by divine decree, protected by history, and situated perfectly to remain independent of global empires.